Gokigenyo homies, Wade Willis here to break down episode 3 of Higurashi Sotsu, and here to break down this first arc as a whole as well. And what can I say? There's nothing like starting off an episode with someone burying parts of a body. Really sets the mood, especially for something like Higurashi. Um, and yeah, we see the full madness of Reina on display in this arc and particularly in this episode. And yeah, guys, before I go any further, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for tons of other anime reactions and reviews. And just When They Cry content as a whole. I am doing an Umineko playthrough as well. Yeah, getting back to Reina. One, obviously, she killed Reina in the previous episode, and kind of didn't really need to. Rena was going to step down and started to realize there was like an error in her ways. And we know this is because she was just doing so many loops. Rena is a horrible person, and I actually feel no remorse for Rena killing her. Just as someone who's watched the original, we know how Rena actually does try to kill Rena at one point. So she sucks, but she is kind of realizing there's a flaw in her ways. Now, I think for her to actually become a real good person, she might have to be stuck in loops for like 1,000 years, not 100. But that's just me. I thought they did a really good job mixing the like repeat scenes that we've already seen before from the original arc, and really editing them in a good way that I think fit in a way that logically made sense. Now, Lambda Delta in my comments pointed out this scene, and this actually was the one that stuck out to me that bothered me the most. Like, I felt like it was pretty unnecessary, and that was like Rika's whole dance. Like, if it felt like it was like 3 minutes long. I know it probably wasn't that long. It was probably like a minute and a half, but it was just way too long and just completely unnecessary. It didn't add anything to the plot. Really, they could have just cut the part with her, like, really at the end, like, slamming the bowel device, like, down into the cotton. They could have just shown that part, and I feel like it would have, that, if they would have just only shown that at the end, like the last 10 seconds, it would have actually had a bigger impact. I didn't need to see it at all, but I feel like if they would have done that, I think it would have been a lot better. There were, like, I really wanted to see what happened with the nurse in this arc, who brings up, like, asks Keiichi, if you guys remember, she asked about the itchy neck to him, and that was not touched on at all in this arc, which I was really kind of waiting for them to get into that. So that was kind of disappointing for me, but overall, I did think this episode and the arc were really good. So I'm not trying to bash it, but those were just two like nitpicks for me. And I know some people were bothered more with the repeats than I was, but I thought overall they edited them pretty well. And in particular, the scene where that I thought was like the most powerful was where Rika was kind of like watching Reina try to get into Keiichi's house, and we had seen that she had tried to like coach Keiichi, like, hey, like, you're imagining things, Reina's fine. So we see that. I thought that was good editing because we're seeing that part. Then we see that Keiichi's gonna let her in, like, gives her a hug and stuff, and Rika's like, okay, like, it seems like a weight's being lifted off of her, and she's like, okay, everything's fine now, and she's like, fight on, Keiichi. And as that's going on, they're flashing into the parts of Reina stabbing Keiichi, which I thought was so powerful and really well done. I actually thought that was like probably like the best scene of the episode. Yeah, there was just so much impact on that, and I really loved the editing in that. So that part I thought was great. And yeah, I mentioned how another thing I thought they did well, and it was a bit repetitive, but I thought it did a good job showing like how crazy Reina was, is just her burying the body over and over again. I think it might have gotten to like 4 times. I'm not quite sure, but I thought that was um, pretty interesting. She would like overhear a conversation or like watch something and pick up something and interpret it the wrong way, and then think she needs to like move the body. And I thought, um, while it was repetitive, they didn't make those scenes drag out too long, and I thought they did have a really good impact showing kind of what Reina was going through. Now, for me personally, um, like I'm just gonna be honest, Toko was never one of my favorite characters in Higurashi. She like I liked some of her trap stuff, and she's kind of like her sassiness and stuff. I thought always thought was like pretty funny, but it's hard for me to like say to anyone like, oh yeah, you're justified in like thinking Satoko has an excuse for doing all these things. And believe me, I know I'm in a glass house because I still feel like I give Daenerys Targaryen like a pass for basically destroying all of King's Landing with the dragons because I believe me, I like loved her character, so I made up excuse. I'm like, well, she was just like pushed to her edge, like she had gone um like they killed her children and just all the things that those people had done were bad. Yes, she killed innocents, but uh like you can understand why she would like lose it in that situation. So I made my own like things that really no logical person should still support someone that did that. I found a way just because I loved her character, and yes, I thought she was super hot, so that might have been a major factor in it. But like, I get it, Satoko fans. But at this point, I mean, we know that she, first of all, like if she didn't completely understand what Rika had gone through and all those loops and what she had experienced, like 100 years of those loops would make you go like crazy and like want to get out of that town. So she sees that and like lives through that too, those loops, trying to like learn everything to be able to defeat Rika, and like does not grasp the concept that, oh, I can understand why someone would want to leave this town, which I got major problems with, but still, okay, I can understand somewhat supporting Satoko. But at this point, you're injecting, um, you're injecting your friends who really are innocent bystanders in this situation. Like they weren't the ones who got you to go to St. Lucia and then like made other friends. So they were living their own lives. Some of them were still in Hanimizawa, but like going to colleges nearby. They didn't do anything wrong. And instead, you're injecting them with the syndrome so that they go crazy and she's like we see there's scenes where she's like happy seeing Reina go crazy. Um and that is what really makes it unforgivable for me. Like I didn't think it was forgivable before, but now guys, I just don't know how you can like support that. And yes, she was abused, like okay, like by that concept, you have to think any like abused person that becomes a serial murderer is justified, and that's just not how it is. There's plenty of abused people who don't go and inject their friends with a virus and constantly kill their best friend over and over again because uh, they made you go to a school you didn't like and made other friends. Just it doesn't make sense. Not to bash Satoko fans, like you can still like Satoko's character. But it's just hard to really support her now at this point, in my opinion. And how can I forget the like basically the finale of the episode, which was Rika realizing that everything went awry and her just stabbing herself. That scene was so grotesque. Like I kept like being like, how is she still alive and bleeding? Like I feel like she lost more blood than was in like a giant's body, but I digress. But yeah, it was shocking to me, and I know some people in my comments had pointed out like, yeah, that one was like obvious that she had killed herself. The other ones, it looks like she was actually killed by someone else and was hunted. But which, when they brought that up, makes sense. But yeah, just seeing that scene was just so rough. So overall for this arc, I give it a B plus. I thought like episodes 1 and 2 were like an A plus for me. They did such a good job bringing in all the stuff with Rena, the pink haired girl, and I thought that added so much to the story. I really enjoyed it. We saw that Rena kind of had like a little bit of a redemption. She wasn't gonna completely milk Rena's father dry, which I mean, we already know she took a lot of money out of him. So how much can we really applaud her? Not much. Like Soates is starting off so much better than Go, in my opinion. These first 3 episodes were, I mean, even like this episode, which I agree with some people, like it was not as good as episodes 1 and 2, but I still thought it was very good. Um, all these three are better than like probably like the first like 13 episodes uh of Go, in my opinion, and I don't even think it's really that close. But if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Again, like I have so much fun with the comments in here because everyone like gives their opinion. It's like people will like kind of debate, but it's like a fun debate. So let's like keep that going. It's a fun atmosphere going on, and like I get things wrong, so feel free to correct me in comments. Like I do not mind at all. Yeah, with theories, I want to point out one thing that someone commented. His name James Heath, and he pointed out that there's like a rumor going on that they are splitting it up. It's going to be 3 episodes for this past arc, 3 for the answer to Watakashi Hen, and then 5 for the next arc. Which is kind of interesting that they're going to have 5 for that other one. So I feel like they're going to touch on a lot of different things. I am interested to see that. Whether this is true or not, like people throw out numbers for rumors like all the time. Like I mean, we were told that there was going to be 31 episodes ago, and that didn't happen. So um, I don't know. I'm taking some of this with a grain of salt, and then yeah, 4 episodes for like a resolving arc. Now I have said over and over again, I would prefer like, and I feel like Higurashi really is in its best stride when it has like its longer arcs, particularly like in Kai. I just prefer some of those, but I mean we've just had so much like we've dived into so much through like original Higurashi and Kai and Go. Like there's so many ways we've gone. I can understand um, why maybe the final arc would only be 4 episodes, and but we see that there is like kind of a major flaw in this system. Is that the major flaw is that if Satoko dies before Rika, she can't follow Rika anymore in loops. So that kind of like changes everything. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe did. Actually, this would kind of make sense. Maybe at the end of the third arc, somehow they have like Rika like kill Satoko before she dies, and then it reboots, and then we just see like those final 4 episodes are like how everything goes without, you mean, Lambda Delta Satoko following Rika through these loops torturing her. So I can kind of see how that would maybe be a solid option. They're gonna have to deal with stuff at the school, so that's why I'm kind of seeing. I kind of feel like that last arc will be after Rika kind of defeated Satoko, and she's able to go through this process, this like super crazy version of Satoko, and they may end up back in the school again, and Rika will perhaps learn from her mistakes and be more supportive of Satoko at the school. So there's just so much stuff of the school in the opening. I cannot fathom how they would not have stuff dealing with the school in a significant portion of the season. So I don't know. That's just me. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I'm going to be doing a reaction for the whole Madoka Magica. Um, I still have not watched that show, so I'm actually going to be doing that this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. I'll probably have like 3 episodes in each video. So there should be like 4 things. I should have at least 2 of those up this weekend. I am still trying to figure out. I've had issues with my Fate visual novel thing. I had to went through this whole process downloading stuff and it stopped working. So I'm gonna try to get that going. So I should have that visual novel going through. And obviously, you guys who have been on this channel for a while know that I'm doing my Umineko playthrough. I have one that's I just need to edit. I'll have up, and I should have another one out this weekend as well. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, guys. Let me know your thoughts on all this and what crazy theories you have and just what you thought about the episode as a whole.